What's up, everybody? We're gonna try to get this camera lens cleaned off. Y'all know how my wife always saves me when I'm in the middle of something and I come unprepared. So I normally will wipe my lens off. I learned that from Miss Linda, the New Orleans gardener, and I didn't do it this time. So I'm hoping my wife's sitting in there watching this. She'll come out here and bring my little camera lens wipe so we can get this thing going. Y'all see what that is? That's them three zippers, baby. Yes, sir. It's them three zippers. We got them in. Finally got them in. Uh, let's see. Alan Gordon says, salute growing out the box. Just let y'all know I got Tam on the line with me. She's going to be moderating the room. And we're going to be doing something a little different going into the season as the garden goes in. We're going to be having us some guests. Uh, I guess you might call it guest moderators. Isn't that what it'll be called, Tam? Guest moderators?
The guest moderators, I guess so. Am I a
Yeah.
guest tonight?
Yeah, you're my guest moderator, you know. So that's what we're gonna be doing because a lot of times when I'm out here moving around, I can't really read the chat like I want to, and that leaves you guys like I'm not really being engaged. So I like to have a guest moderator in the room to kind of make sure that they stay on the camera. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna wipe my lens off and see if that helps.
While you're doing that, we can just say hey to some
Oh,
people. Can you see okay?
oh yeah, I think that. Hold on, let me keep that with me. Let me see. Is that a little better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay, so that's what it was. Dirty lens. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's way better. So let's yell at some people in the room. I see my girl Angela Calloway. What's up? What's up?
Hey,
Uh,
Angela.
your Santa Rosa should be there pretty soon. You know, we finally got that out to you. So that's I got to say Angela probably is going to be my number one customer on the website. Number one neighbor. Let me rephrase that. Gonna be my number one neighbor on the website. She always supports. She just got her another Santa Rosa plum from growingoutthebox.com. So I really appreciate all the support she does. So I'm always shout her out in here. Uh, let's go down and let's read some names out the chat. Go ahead and take it over, Tam.
Okay, well, it looks like some were waiting before you started. God's desire for me. She's saying, hey there, so excited to get the new netting.
Oh yeah. Oh, you already got it.
That's what she's saying with a thumbs up.
All right.
So
So
thank you.
that's those three zippers. Yeah.
Hello, John C6228. Thank you for joining.
Yes,
Let's
yes, yes, yes.
Mike's Chaotic Gardening. Hello, Mike. He said I'll be on the team replay as I'm doing yard work and gardening right now.
Okay, that's what's up. We ain't gonna be in here that long.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say Bayou State Outdoor 9650. Mockingbirds getting into my blueberries. Ordered 2 nets yesterday.
I hope you ordered them from growingoutthebox.com. Because if you're not, you're fired. Yeah.
Okay, Georgia Truck Cat says, I've been wanting to see the netting also. Hope he has a lot in stock. Yes, he does, but you better hurry up.
And I'm gonna tell you, I was talking. Yeah, see, Tam laughing at me right now because I really was kind of getting a little depressed earlier today.
Sad.
I hit her with that. She said, "What's wrong, bro?" I said, man, somebody just came in and bought. I ain't gonna say how many of the netting, but they bought a lot of 'em.
Let's say a month supply.
Yeah, they bought a month's supply. They kind of like what I did with that carbonado sugar when I went in and wiped all the carbonado sugar off the shelf. I was like, now this messed up because this is what happened last year. I had the three zipper nettings in, and then all of a sudden somebody came in and bought them all up. And the person that bought them, I talked to him. So he has a U pick blueberry farm. So I'm not mad, but I just wanted to make sure that the community, our neighbors, had an opportunity to get some of these nettings if it's something that you want. Because when he came in and now the numbers look good. that that number looked real good when it came through, but at the same time, it just it just took something out of me because I was like, I can't believe I ordered more this time and I'm about to run out faster. So he was actually waiting on these, and he took a nice chunk out of them. I still got half of what I ordered. He took out half. So if you know he has a U pick farm, that that tells you a lot right there. So I just want to thank you guys for, like I said, making this possible. Because again, none of this would be possible if you weren't supporting people like Angela Calloway. I have to keep shouting her out. Food by Faith, she been rocking with me. She comes, she get that garlic every year, and I see she's in the room. Cash Flow, she's in the room. One of my biggest supporters from day one. That's Cash Flow. So if y'all on there, just give her a little thumbs up. I got my guy Broke Farmer in here. Um, I mean, it's just. I mean, I'm telling you, man, I was really heartbroken. That's crazy. That is crazy. I was feeling some kind of way because somebody was buying up all the netting, and my wife was like, "Isn't that what you got them for?"
Keith, sorry about this. I got to step away a minute, get my
Okay,
Amazon order.
okay, no problem. I sit there, and run my mouth for a little while. I'm always supporting you. That's Angela Calloway. She said, I'm always supporting you on your website and the channel. You are absolutely correct. You are always supporting. You support even over on YouTube, the Instagram, and Facebook. So one of these days, we're going to get the courage up to go both Facebook and YouTube. But I just wanted to show you guys what the three zippers are looking like. Let me see. Now, this is the thing I did not take into account. I'm on StreamYard today. So, I'm usually going live on YouTube. So I'm not really familiar with how to turn that camera around. Yeah, make sure I don't do something and then click off. Okay. So I might have just ran into a roadblock. I didn't even think about that. Like I said, I'm so used to going live straight on YouTube, but I wanted to have Tam up here with me to help moderate the room because, like I said, a lot of times, you know, I'm out here moving around, which is what I want to do. I want to be able to move around the garden. I don't like being stagnant, and but that takes me away from the screen. So when I can't see the screen, I can't communicate with you guys. So what's up, Shawnee 2003? Say hey, what's up, growing out the box in chat.
Okay,
Um,
Keith, I'm back.
all right, all
Sorry
right.
about that.
Georgia Trucker Cat is in the building. He's speaking to Broke Farmer. Says he's watched your channel too. Shawnee's speaking to Food by Faith. Let's see if I can go back up and see what's a Jay Bird. Explaining my garden outside gardening this year. Love getting all the good info. I appreciate you being here, Jay Bird. Bayou State Outdoors. Let's see. G
Keith,
Mama, what's up? Uh,
wait a
so
minute. Golden time of day. She said something very factual. She said, keep a young person around when you go live.
no, the thing is, I'm so used to going live on YouTube, like going straight to YouTube. It's very rare that I go live on StreamYard. So StreamYard is like unfamiliar territory with me. Got too many gadgets on here, so you might be right. Have a young person around when you go live.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
but I still ain't figured out how to turn that screen around. That's where I got in trouble.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, when I went to pushing on buttons up there, but I think it's the internet of anything. I think it's the internet.
Somebody say you push one too many. You push yourself out. You
Yeah,
push one too many buttons.
one too many buttons trying to follow directions. You know how we do. We just
Yeah,
be up there
G.
just
G Mama said, going out the box, push that last button that brought you. Oh, she was talking to somebody else, but
yeah. Yeah, I got it back in now. But I wanted to turn the camera around because I can't do what it is that I need to do if I don't turn the camera around. So
What do you
that's
need to do, Keith?
I mean, I could walk over here backwards.
I guess you can.
Yeah, because I wanted to give kind of like a close up of the netting, just showing how different it is from the average netting that you see out here. You can see at the top here, there's a rim that goes all the way around it.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that's a 48-inch rim that allows that allows your bush to breathe on the top. So it's not so much weight on the top of it. That's a personal design of mine, and there's a patent on this. So the three zippers with this whole little oval top up top, there's a patent on that. It has two knots on each one of the threads. So it's
Okay.
not that I can't turn the camera around.
Okay, well, while you're figuring that out, let's see. Transit 9937. Where can I get the three zippers? You can go to the website. It's growingoutthebox.com, and I'll drop the link in the chat.
So let me okay, somebody tell me one more time how to turn this camera around. I'm determined to do this because this is the only way I'm going to learn. That's why I've been running from StreamYard because I'm not really familiar with all the little gadgets. But when I go straight to YouTube, it's really simple to just push plug and play. You turn the camera on and you keep going. You hit it back and forth. With all this StreamYard, we got too many options on here.
So
Um,
nobody has told you how to do it yet, but Bayou State say this the net is a game changer.
oh yeah, and I'm trying to just hold that for me. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do, I'm gonna show you guys how to keep 100% of your berries. This is how you get 15 to 20 pounds off of a bush. This is the only way you're gonna get that much off of a bush. Every bush, every berry in here is ripe. Let me just pull a couple of them off.
Wow, that looks so awesome.
Yeah, every berry in here is ripe. This is the only way to be able to get all your berries.
Wow.
That's the only way. Yep.
So the birds and nothing can get in there, Keith?
Well, and y'all pardon me for smacking on camera, but I just want to kind of get a close up of it so you guys can see just how much that's not blue in here. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, you see all that not blue. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah. So again, it's three zippers. That's one there. There's two there. Go around. And there's number three. And the purpose of that is easy access. Because the one thing that we've always had when we start talking about harvesting our blueberries, when we put the net on, that's generally that's generally the hardest part of harvesting your blueberries when you have to take that net off. So people get discouraged and they don't even put it on. And then what happens is, excuse me, what happens is you end up losing all your berries to the birds because the birds will literally come in and strip that bush down. They won't stop. All that I've heard people say share with the birds. Brother, I don't know what kind of birds you got over there, but these birds here need to be in jail because they
Don't
won't
say
stop.
that.
Yeah, these birds need to be in jail because they just won't stop. I don't know if they just extra greedy over here, but they will keep going. And matter of fact, I'm going to show you an example of what I'm talking about. This bush is not covered up. You see any berries on that bush? And I did this on purpose. These are the things that I do to try to, really drive home the points of the simple things that I'm doing that some people may not really think it's worth anything, or, that it really matters. But this bush was loaded, and I sacrificed it just to be able to show what it does when you don't put your netting on these bushes. It might be two or three berries on this entire bush. And starting in the morning, you see there's a few green ones right here. That's it. You see all the new growth on it. But going back to my point, without the netting on here, that's what's going to happen. They're just going to go through, and you're talking about a night and day difference in how your berries are going to look and how you're going to harvest. And I'm gonna even go over here to my little my my berries. These things are huge. Now these are sweethearts here. Let's see if I can. Man, I got to be able to turn this camera around because this is not working. Let's see.
Keith, do you have a stand?
Yeah, I got a stand, but I still need to be able to turn the camera around because I can't see what I'm talking about if I don't have the camera on. Trying to show you guys just how big these berries are on the ones in pots. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, we can see that. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, those
Now these are the same berries, the same bushes that you guys saw me propagate 2 years ago. So if you got your blueberry bush from growingoutthebox.com, this is the size that they should be this year. And we have to cut them back when we ship them out to make sure that they fit in the containers and of course follow the regulations with shipping. But all of these berries over here in the bushes, can you see those?
yeah. Wow.
You see all the berries on this thing?
Mm-hmm.
And then you come down here to the late bloomers, which you always hear me talk about succession planting. These haven't even turned yet. These will be my late bloomers. So this is how you extend your season. You see how
So
those are.
so
Go
what
ahead.
kind of netting do you have over that, Keith?
This is row netting here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that right there is row netting. It's a 10 foot by 50, and there's 17 there's 17 bushes up under here. 17 bushes that are 2 years old. So for the question, can you grow blueberries in pots just as successful? Yes, you can. These are 2 gallon and 3 gallon pots. Some of them need to be up potted again, but for the most part, I have 3 gallon pots down here, and they're growing just fine. Like I said, they're 2 year old, 2.5 year old cuttings that come mostly from my bushes. A couple of them I purchased, like the Georgia Gem I ended up purchasing. And then I think this is a climax, I believe, next to it that I purchased as a Georgia Gem, but I'm not sure. But yes, you can grow just as, you know, just as good of a harvest on your pots. Now, what these will be going into at the end of the day, probably a 20-gallon container. I think you could get away with a good 20-gallon container with your blueberries if you're trying to keep it in the pot, for its permanent home. And that's what I'm going to be going to these. I'm going to move all these up to a 20-gallon container because I want to be able to grow with you guys and be able to experience some of the things and be able to come back and tell you what I did with my bushes that are in pots so that we'll kind of be on the same wavelength. Even with the stuff that's in the planters, I've come up with a way to grow it in ground using the same 48-inch parameters that I use with my raised beds. I figured it out. So the only thing to do is to really show you guys how to do it. And the best way to explain it is um, you're going to have the gamut of a perch water table when you dig that hole down because you're going to have a solid bottom there. And there's an opportunity of holding water, which could go anaerobic. But what I do is I drilled a 6-inch auger hole in the center of the hole. And that what that does is it allows the water to drain down into that hole, and then I fill that up with coarse sand. And that becomes like a wicking system, so it dries down and let that water have a way to escape as opposed to sitting in the bottom of your container. So that's how we're going to do with growing our blueberries in ground. And then what you do is outside of that 48-inch parameter, you want to do a 24-inch span, and that is where you put your elemental sulfur. You don't put your elemental sulfur on or right around the blueberry, directly around. You want to put it in a buffering zone around the zone that you're actually growing your blueberry in. And I think that's the mistake that a lot of people are making when they're growing their blueberries in ground and they're trying to use elemental sulfur to contain the pH to make sure that that pH stays low. If you're putting the elemental sulfur right around the edges or right up on the bed of your blueberry bush, then it's not going to have the same effect because essentially you're just putting elemental sulfur on something that's already acidic. And what happens is that perimeter that you have not blocked out is going to seep back in because you got to think water does not travel down. Water travels at angles when you have your earthworms, uh, the root systems, everything goes in angles. So that's the way water travels. So if you have alkaline soil and that water is draping down, it's going back into your raised bed or your in-ground planter, and that's what causes that alkalinity to creep back in and your pH to start to raise again. So again, what we want to do is we want to dig a hole, that 48-inch hole, 12 inches deep, put that mix in it that I'm always telling you guys about: 50% peat moss, 25% mini pine bark nuggets, and 25% compost with a quarter cup of that cottonseed meal. That's your starter mix. That is the battery that we're talking about. Once you have that hole dug, now you want to go 12 to 24 inches a perimeter around that hole. And that is where you put your elemental sulfur. So that's, like I said, just in watching some of the I went over to one of the other guys out here near where I live, and I was helping him plant some of his blueberry bushes, and he wanted to do it in ground, and his bushes are doing very well. So that's something that I've discovered in just creating buffer zones. The same way that when my beds are raised up off the ground and there's nothing around it, that's the reason why that stays acidic. We do the same thing, but opposite. We put it in the ground and then we build a buffer zone around it, wide enough to where it's not going to trickle in through those side channels and start to raise that pH. So
Thanks for that, Keith. Someone wants to see the bottom of the netting. Would
the
you be able
bottom
to
of,
find that? Yes.
yeah. Now the bottom of these nettings on each one of the zippers, I did it a little different. I did there's a spool that comes out for each one of the zippers. So there's um, two, I guess you call them little wing nuts is what we would call them. And like I said, I can't turn the camera around, so I can't. That's the reason why I needed to be able to turn the camera around.
Point it down just a little bit. Just point the camera down a little bit, and I'll let you know if we can see. Yeah, a little bit closer, and yeah,
You see where my hand is here?
yes, come down a little bit more with the camera.
Okay, let's see here. Let's see if I can do the best I can do now because I can't turn
Okay,
my
well,
camera.
you almost got it. That's good. To see that good.
Okay, let me see if I can. Now this is what I'm trying to show. Can you see that?
Yeah, just like that. Yes,
You see the two little knots right here?
yes.
Okay, let me show you what I did here. On each one of those knots, I got a little hook. You see that?
Oh, okay.
So there's a slip knot. Can you see that?
Yeah, let me see if everybody can see. Can y'all put a thumbs up if you can see that? I can see it, but I don't. I want to make sure everyone else can.
Yeah, because I'm able to see it on the screen myself.
Okay, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure they can
See, I
see
see
it.
I have a little slip knot right here, and I put these little wire hangers right here. You can
Is
get
that a
clothes
tent
hangers.
stake, Keith?
It's pretty much anything. You can get anything and just stick it on there. And
Okay.
basically what I do is I hook it inside of that slip knot. I'm trying to do this with one hand.
Oh, I see. And
Yeah,
staking in the ground.
yeah, and that keeps it stable. That wind is not gonna take that off. Then you just
Oh,
pop that in, pop that in the ground,
oh, okay.
and she is on there. She is not gonna come off. And there's three of those for each zipper. You see how the zipper line here? For each
Mm-hmm.
zipper, I had that done for each one because I noticed when I was doing it on the one zippers, there's only one channel for you to be able to access that knot. So I figured I put three knots on it so it'll be more secure. You got control, you can tighten it up, loosen it up when you want to. But the main thing was to have anchor points so you can lock those into the ground so they don't come up. So that's again another one of my personal designs. So basically, what I did was with the one zipper, I saw everything that could have been done better, and I tried to go in and upgrade all of that stuff, which goes for the same thing like we were talking about this perimeter up top here. Let's see if we get to the top.
Yeah.
You see, there's a 48-inch perimeter that goes
Uh-huh.
all the way around. It's just not a seamed piece going together. So what that does is it allows the top of the bush to breathe a little better. It's not ideal, it's not perfect, but it gives you, you can see how the branches are not all the way folded down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's lighter weight. It's good, strong UV resistant material and it's lighter weight. So those are some things, like I said, in dealing with the one zipper all of these years, and the one zipper still, I mean, they'll do the job. This is for convenience. I mean, there's nothing more convenient than opening this up, zip it down, go to the other side, open it up, harvest your berries off, and then do that all the way around it. It just makes harvesting so much more fun because I don't know if you've ever picked any blueberries before, but this is a job. When you start talking
Mm-hmm.
about all of those berries on this bush,
Mm-hmm.
that's a job when you're
Mm-hmm.
coming out here and pick it. It's fun at first, and then when you get about an hour in, you be like, man, I'm about to let these birds have this. so but again, it just makes it. And then if you got somebody helping you pick, each one of you can have your own little zone, so you're not in each other's way.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes so much more sense. Now they are a little more expensive than the one zipper because I had to spend more money putting this whole thing together. Of course, every time you add something to it, there's going to be an added cost to it. So I'm trying to keep them economical while at the same time make my money back that I've invested in them. But again, the U pick, and I've had two U pick guys already order a bundle of them. So that tells me right there, they bought some last year and they didn't get enough to finish their whole thing. So they were sitting in the cut waiting. As soon as I listed these things yesterday, I mean, a couple hundred sold just like that, two customers. So
Wow.
yeah,
And
so
Keith,
so
those are the ones that you actually have on the website, the ones that you have out there on your bushes.
yes, this
Okay.
is actually what's on the website. I have the one
Okay.
zipper on the website also, and then there are two different sizes of the one zipper. There's
Mm-hmm.
8 foot tall,
Mm-hmm.
which is 96 inches. So they're taller than this, and that's pretty much for like the rabbit eyes. The rabbit eyes tend to get taller. So I did the 8 foot talls for the rabbit eyes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the three zippers in different sizes as well. I'm going to have the smaller ones, probably maybe a 3 foot three zipper. And then this will be maybe the second tier because these are 84 inches tall. So they'll handle a 6 foot bush with ease. because here you can see this is a this is a pink lemonade right here. She's well,
Mm.
you can see I'm 5'10", and this thing is probably close to, I don't know, maybe 6'10", maybe 7 feet, and this 84 inches
Oh
covers it all
wow.
the way down. So it is enough to cover it. Now the thing that you guys got to remember, you got to prune your bushes. You know, I see a lot of, because like I said, even the guy that I went over his house that I was helping him put together the blueberry pit is what I'm calling it. It's a blueberry pit. So y'all remember that when y'all start hearing blueberry pit, that name floating around, y'all know it started right here on growingoutthebox.com. A blueberry pit is what we were calling it. And basically, like I said, it is this 48-inch little planter right here that's in the ground. There's no planter, but we did a 12-inch depth hole. We went 48 inches round, and then we did 24 to 48 inches. I'm sorry, 12 to 24 inches perimeter around that hole, and that is where we're putting our elemental sulfur. And we did that fall of last year because that's the best time to put down that elemental sulfur. If you want to put that down, the best time to put it down is in the fall because it takes anywhere from 3 months to a year for the elemental sulfur to take effect to lower that pH of your soil. So if you're trying to lower the pH of your soil with elemental sulfur and it's something that you're trying to do right now, you're not going to see any results this year. You're going to
Yeah,
be
okay.
next year.
Okay.
And on top of that, you may not even see the results next year because it's dependent upon the microbes in your soil. There's a microbe called thiobacillus, and that is the main source of breaking down that sulfur. Without that thiobacillus, and if you have compact soil, the thiobacillus does not like living in compact soil. If you have waterlogged soil, thiobacillus does not like living in waterlogged soil. So what does that mean? That means that it's going to take that much longer for that elemental sulfur to take effect. All of those things play factor into why. So this is why when we talk about the blueberry pit, I'm gonna keep saying that because, like I said, y'all heard it here first. The blueberry pit, and basically it is this thing here. Like I said, it is this planter right here that's in the ground without the planter, and then in the center of that hole, we did a 6-inch auger bit, and we went down 12 inches. You can go 12 or 24 inches down into the soil. And the reason why we did that is because we don't want to create a perch water table. And for some of you that may not know what a perch water table is, it's where water settles and it's not going to go past a certain point. Even when it rains, and you think about the fluff of your soil, the medium that you're growing in, it's more porous and it allows the water to flow through. So that water is going to seep over and it's going to create like a little pool. And that water is going to sit in the bottom of that hole, that blueberry pit, if you didn't have that auger hole in the center. And then we fill that auger hole up with pine bark nuggets, and that becomes our drainage hole for it to go down. And I'm giving y'all the jewels before I even show it now, because I wanted to make sure that it held the pH. Because right now we put it in the fall, it's still technically spring, early summer, so to speak. So right now it's still holding. We want to make sure that we make a whole year, and if that pH stays the same for that whole year, then I'm gonna be able to say, yeah, this thing's working. So let's go down to the chat, Tam.
Okay, we got a couple questions. Corey Younger says, well, do you have any of the 2 to 3 feet tall netting? He said, love the netting, got to get me one. Are you going to be getting any for the 2 to 3 feet bushes, container bushes?
Yes, I will be ordering 3 zippers, and like I said, in different sizes because this is
Okay,
once you upgrade to the 3 zippers, it's like there ain't no going back,
okay,
because again, it's just the convenience of having these 3 zippers on here. It's no rocket science, but like I said, it's just some techniques that I do that just over the course of time and growing blueberries just made it simpler for me to be able to come out here and harvest. I come out here, like I say, zip open, get my bowl, get as much I want right here, zip it back. Whereas before, I had to spin it just to get that zipper to move to where I wanted to move. You don't have to do that with the three zippers. It's just there for you for the convenience. And you know we're in that convenient world, so that's what everybody's looking for.
Okay, thanks for that. So Carla's, she's saying my blueberry bush is only a year old, so no berries yet. But someone told me to get a couple of berry rakes. What is your take on those? Have you tried them?
Berry rakes only work on low bush, and I don't know what type of bush she has, but berry rakes only work on low bushes. If you put a berry rake on there, you're going to be stripping a lot of the leaves off because the matter of fact, man, I wish. Okay, let me show you something. This is one of the bushes I've never shown this. I don't think I've ever shown this. This is a perpetua. Man, I wish I could turn this camera around because it's not doing it a service. Can you see this?
Let me ask Google how to turn that camera.
Can you see this? You should
Yes,
be
we
able
can
to
see
see it.
that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let me let the camera catch up with me so I can see what I see. But you see these little bitty berries on here? Can you see those little tiny berries?
Bring the camera closer.
Let's see if I can do that.
Unless I'm just blind, but
No, because like I said, I'm trying to get it to where you guys can see.
and just tilt it down a little bit so we could see. Okay, we see your hand.
Okay, my hand, if you see that right there where I'm pointing at,
Uh huh.
you see the berries?
Yes.
Those are blueberries. What's on my bushes out there are not blueberries. These are blueberries. That's big as they're going to get. You see how tiny they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are blueberries.
So those aren't
Literally,
blueberries.
no, no, they're not blueberries.
What?
that's
What? See, I'm
that's
confused. Is anyone else confused?
and see, but again, I'm gonna just explain. This is a perpetua. This bush right here blooms blueberries all year long. I had two of them. One of them was unalived, and I don't know how that happened. But what had happened was uh, it does not like this Georgia humidity and this heat down here. So what I had to do was find the perfect spot for it, and that perfect spot seems to be right here up on my garden porch. So it's in a self-watering container because it has a lot of the genes of the wild blueberries. This is big as it's going to get. This might get maybe 2 feet tall, maybe at best, but on average, this is what you're going to be looking at. And let me see if I can pick one of these berries off. And they're ripe. These are ripe berries. You see how tiny that is?
Wow.
Yeah. This is what a wild blueberry looks like.
Wow.
They're not large at all. So that's a perpetua. Now, on the last live that I did, and I'm gonna see if I can you see how big it is? It is a tiny little baby.
So, Keith, those are the ones you see in the grocery store, right? The ones
No,
that are
no,
frozen, they look like those.
no. You see how tiny that is?
Yes.
It looks. It's matter of fact, if you think about a green pea, that's the size it is, the size of a green pea, and that is blue. It is actually blue.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can squeeze it without getting it all over myself. That the skin is actually blue.
Hold it up a little bit, Keith, in the camera. Oh, okay.
It's actually blue. If you squeeze a regular blueberry, it's not blue on the inside, and they are super sweet. But this is a perpetua, and it says perpetua because it's continuous. It's perpetual. It keeps blooming all year long. This will bloom all year long. This is one of only, I think it's one of only three, to the best of my knowledge, one of only three bushes that does this. The other one is an echo, and they call it echo for that reason because it blooms on and off all year long. This one and the sweetheart is also remontant. And when I say remontant, that just means it blooms more than once. The sweetheart will do it spring and then maybe in the fall if the weather permits. But this baby here, the perpetua, she'll do this all year long, have little berries on her all year long. So, excuse me. So what I want to do is get the echo to go with this. If I get the echo, this is going to be a perfect pair for this little spot up here. Now, she's called an X. You got my northern and the southern high bushes are called coriambosum. Uh, Man, I just got a brain for it. I say Vaccinium coriambosum. Vaccinium coriambosum. That's what the northern and the southern high bush is. The pink lemonade and the rabbit eyes are Vaccinium achaes. They will not cross pollinate with each other. This is a coriambosum X. So it is something that was created as a hybrid and bred to be small like the wild blueberries and produces all year long. This is a unique bush right here. I mean, it really is. And like I said, I had two of them. The other one didn't make it, but this one I finally found the perfect spot for it. It gets that late afternoon sunshine, but she is super healthy. Look how green she is. And you'll see on the tips, you'll see new berries coming in already. See if you can see that. Can you see on the tip that the little pointy thing right there on the tip?
Yeah, I see that. Hmm.
Yeah, those are new berries coming in. Where all the other blueberry bushes, once they put on their rush of blueberries in the first part of the season, that's it. They're not going to do it again. This one will keep doing it all season. You see, right on the tip of this as well.
Hmm.
Those are new berries coming in. Perpetua, that's what she is. And I've never shown this. Like I said, I was struggling trying to get it to grow, and not until I kind of master it did I want to talk about it. And she likes it right here where she gets that late afternoon sun. She don't like being in that sun all day long. She's a prima donna. So she gets all maybe about 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock, she gets a little sunlight, and that's all she wants. And look how beautifully green these leaves are. I mean, the leaves are just super green. She loves it right here.
Do you have to cover her up, Keith, with the netting?
Uh, no, because the birds don't even know she got food on her. That's how
Really?
small. That's how small she is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like I
They're
said,
smart.
yeah, she's they probably don't even know it's berries on it because they're like I said, like if you think about green peas, they about the size of a small green pea. So it's more of a novelty than an actual, ooh, I need to get that blueberry. So it's like I don't know, maybe I think I'm starting to become a blueberry bush collector, you know.
Are they sweet?
Uh they have a little tartness to them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a little tartness to them. But again, the one that I want to make sure that I get to go with that is going to be the Echo. And I've really been looking for the Echo. They won't even ship the Echo into Georgia. So what I'm going to have to do is go and find someone to have it shipped to somebody in a different state and then maybe drive over to get it. Angela Calloway, you in here? So we might be having it shipped to Angela over in Alabama, and then we may have to drive over to Angela to pick it up, and I might buy, throw a little extra blueberry bush in it for her inconvenience and kind of just hanging out, growing out the box for a little while. But I really want that Echo. If anybody in here knows anybody who has the Echo or has access to an Echo, let me know. We'll make it worth your while. We will definitely make it worth your while.
Maybe OC Dish Chick knows. She was asking, "Are you still looking for an Echo Blueberry plant?" So maybe
Yes,
she knows.
yes, I am definitely looking for an Echo. The Echo would be the perfect match to go with that. Because, like I said, she's self fertile. The Perpetua, she's self fertile. The Echo is also self fertile. But what if we get them to cross pollinate? Can we get a larger berry on that little bitty small bush? I believe so. I have to look and see what the echo is because if the chromosomes on the echo are slightly different, then it won't work anyway. Because you got to think about the rabbit eyes and the northern and the southern high bush will not cross pollinate. That's four chromosomes to six chromosomes, and no matter how you divide it, it's sets. They just won't match up with each other. So I'm gonna go over here and we're gonna sit down for a little while, and then we're gonna get up out of here. So when I sit
Okay,
down,
you got a lot of comments out here. Let's see,
yeah,
Mister
let's
K.
let's get down to the comments.
Okay, so Mr. KG2539 is asking, can that type of blueberry bush be grown in zone 10A in the shade?
No, absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, hey, let
Why
me tell
not?
you. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you why. You got to put her in the air condition. Yeah, you gonna have to put her in inside in the air condition, cause she's the descendant of a wild northern blueberry bush. That's what it is. She's not used to this humid climate. Like I said, I've had it for 2 years now.
Hmm.
I had two of them for 2 years, and I just could not get it to. I just could not get it to grow. And she was stuck for like 2 years, and then I moved her over to the like I said, the garden house porch in that perfect little spot where I say, okay, I'm gonna just get it to where she doesn't get a whole lot of sunlight all day, but she gets really light, indirect light. And maybe about 5 o'clock in the evening, it'll get a little sunlight. And yeah, she say, yes, that's it. That's what I like. That's what I like. Yeah. So let's get down here to the chat.
Okay, so Keith, let's go back to Carla's question. She's AI changed her comments, so she want to ask you this. So she said I have the three blueberry bushes. She has high bushes, and she said they're a year old. She was told to get a handheld berry rake. Do you have any experience with those, and would you recommend it?
No, I still would not recommend a handheld rake.
Okay.
The rakes again are mainly for the wild blueberries, and that's because they grow low to the ground, and it basically looks like a little shovel, and you basically walk around and you scoop them and they pull them off. You scoop and you pull off the leaves on. I just don't. I think it's more abuse. Now I could be wrong because I've never used one. So let me just give you that disclaimer. I've never used one, but just in seeing how they're harvested with the low bush and the half highs. The half high is probably a little bigger than my perpetual, but the low bush literally is a low bush. Like they get maybe 12 inches tall, and what they have is like this little, uh, like a sugar scoop, so to speak, has like this little flat end on it with some little forks on it, and you go down and you basically just rake the berries, and the berries fall into the cup. I would not abuse my blueberries like that. And another thing too, this time of the year where we've been getting all of this rain, ooh man, this is when those funguses start to come in. When those temperatures get between that 75 and 85 degrees, this is the worst time for your blueberry bush. And what I usually do, and I wanted to do that today, but of course, the camera and all of that stuff kept blanking out on me. But What I would generally do is take that liquid whey, even with the berries on, and you want to try to avoid spraying it on the berries, but do like a diluted version of the liquid whey that I showed you guys, and you want to mist it on with those little fan sprayers that I show you, and you can get it and go and get it from growingoutthebox.com if you don't have one, but it's a fan mister. And what you want to do is be able to get onto the bottom of the leaves, not the top. If you're soaking the top of the leaves, it's not going to do any good because the top of the leaves has a cuticle on it, and that liquid's just going to roll off on it. Your stomata is on the bottom of the leaves. That's where that blueberry bush breathes at. That's where that blueberry bush takes up its nutrients, and that is where those funguses start to take hold before you even recognize it. And by the time you see it, they've already made their way through the leaves. Things like anthracnose and septoria, uh, mummyberry is another one that you'll have problems with. Um, I spray it with a mild dose of the liquid weight that I showed you guys. If you haven't watched it, I got a video on there talking about how to eliminate powdery mildew. This time of the year, go through your entire garden and spray that on every single plant that you have that could potentially have any powdery mildew, downy mildew, or any type of fungal diseases. And the reason why you want to do that, because it is a absolute killer. Let me rephrase that. It is an absolute dynamite when you start talking about preventative, because that is the way you stop these funguses and viruses from spreading around your garden. You have to be preventative. Once they start, that means you've had pores or spores or something floating from somewhere else, and they've already infected your bush. By that time, and I'm talking about your squash, your zucchini, your tomato plants, all of those plants right there that are prone to funguses, you want to make sure you start spraying that now as those temperatures start to rise. 75 and 85 degrees is where it's most dominant. So that's what I do to all the plants in my garden. I start spraying when those temperatures get up with that humidity. That's where those funguses start to come in. And with that, over the past few years, I've had no problem with powdery mildew, downy mildew, septoria, anthracnose. I mean, I can go down the list. I just have had no problems with it. And that is because growing out the box. But where Mike at? Mike Chaotic, how you finish that up? Growing out the box, you be
Doing too much.
doing too much.
Keith,
That's
somebody called you a blueberryologist.
a blueberryologist.
So you know, yeah, take that name. That sounds good.
Okay, I'll rock with that. Okay, G Mama put that my blueberry in there. She know what it is.
Yeah, Miss Linda's in the house, Keith. Tina.
Oh, what's up, Miss Linda? Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. But
And
yeah,
OC Dish Chick, she said she found an echo plant, an echo blueberry.
uh-oh. Do you have an echo,
Let me
Nikki?
see what she said. Yeah, she said she got one.
Okay, we can do some bartering now. You wanna? We might have to take a trip. I think Nikki, where you at in Ohio? No, Maryland. Nikki's in Maryland, so that might be a pretty good little trip. I would ride for that echo. Yeah, because they
Let's.
won't ship it to Georgia.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So people are still coming in, y'all. If y'all can hit that heart button to the right, that
yeah,
helps the algorithm
yeah, yep.
and helps. Hey, Miss Linda.
Yeah, Miss Linda, I crashed and burned a little earlier, but you know how it is. You get that little mockingbird, he gonna get back up and flap them wings. I came back, so we gonna make this thing make sense. Like I said, the three zippers. That's what I wanted to really come in and talk to you guys about tonight. I kind of just threw a thumbnail up so you guys kind of be aware of what I was talking about today. And I wanted to, again, make sure that you all had access or at least the opportunity to buy some of the three zippers because last year, there, I think it was what, 2 weeks, Tam?
Yes.
But it was 2 weeks and they were gone. And I ordered twice as many this time, and I just listed them yesterday, and almost half is gone already. So I said, let me go and make a video or just do a live and let everybody know that the three zippers are here. I don't know how long they're going to be here. Now, like I said, my wife thought I was crazy because I was kind of, and I even talked to Tam today. I was like, I think I'm a little depressed right now. Tam was like, what's going on, bro? I said, because somebody buying up all the zippers, all the three zippers, and I haven't even had a chance to offer them to the community. And that's really who I wanted to have them. And then my wife came in right behind me. She said, that's what you got those things for. You need to go ahead and sell them.
Yes. And what did I tell you? I told you I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my fault. That's my
Yeah.
fault because baby sis told me, she said, Keith, you need to go ahead and order more than what you think you're gonna need because you're gonna turn around and you're gonna end up reordering right away and then the
Yes.
season is gonna be over. So what I am going to do, I'm gonna go ahead and put in another order. I'm gonna
Hmm.
double that order up. And even if even if the season is over, we'll have them for maybe if people want to buy Christmas gifts for next season. I think it'll be good to have for just adding to your bush for next season because it's an investment. I mean, it really is an investment. When I think about two you pick, and this is one of the people that purchased a lot of them last year, and I was kind of happy that he purchased them last year because it was new to me. But this year I was like, I ordered more because I kind of anticipated, somebody coming in and purchasing them in blocks. But even some of you guys, the neighbors, 6 to 8 uh, packs of netting at a time. So y'all are getting the message. The only way you're gonna eat your blueberries is you're gonna have to cover them up. All that putting flashing lights and sparklers and all that stuff.
Right.
That's cool, but those birds learn that, and maybe if you have enough bushes, it doesn't matter. But
Hmm.
when someone has an actual you pick business and they think it's smart enough to invest in that many nettings, that
Hmm.
tells you right there that these nettings are worth it. They are definitely
Yes.
worth it because you think about this guy could not believe I got 20 pounds on average. I'm going to say 17 pounds on average, but I got 20 pounds off of my sweetheart last year. 20 pounds of blueberries off of my sweetheart last year. Average over all 17 pounds. If you do the math on that, $6, what is it, $6 to $8 per pound for organic blueberries? It's already paid for itself. So that's the way I look at anything that I do out here in the garden. I'm looking at long term investment. These berries or bushes are going to be here for the next 30, 40 years, far beyond the time that I'll be here. And that's an investment. You put them on for the 2 to 3 weeks that they're going to be ripened, and then you take them right back off. And right after you take them off, you go spray them down with that liquid whey again, and that is your regiment for the rest of the season until next year. So that is part of the care process that we do.
You
Hold
just
on
got
now.
a not. You guys just got a wonderful super chat from MX.
That's
Uh,
Quali
let's
Quay
see here.
was that Quayle at Quayle?
Yeah, at Qualqui, QUALQUI, $5 tip for the blueberryologist. Many thanks to you,
Okay.
growing out the box, for sharing your knowledge with us.
And
Thank
let
you
me
for
say
that.
this.
That's nice.
Yes.
That's nice.
Yes. Because can you highlight that Flo? Can you highlight her? I think it's already highlighted, but make sure that you give her some shine because I don't know if that's a him or a her. Let me know if you are him or a her because I want to be able to remember you. I really appreciate that. Um, I don't take any of this for granted. And baby sister, know, sometimes and Miss Linda in here because I talk to Miss Linda a lot on the phone too. So, she knows me personally from just the conversations that we had. I take none of this stuff lightly. I really do appreciate, genuinely appreciate when you guys do things like that, gifts, because I do this for free. Just to be honest, I do it for free. When you go over and you support the store, that's where it makes sense to me because I mean, I just enjoy helping. I enjoy sharing whatever it is that I've been blessed with. I feel like the blessing happens when you pass it on to somebody else. And I really do live by those rules. And I know in the times that we're living in right now, and I ain't gonna get all preachy and this, baby sis say, okay, bro, come on back in. but but I really just want to say, you know, genuinely, you know what I mean, that I really love people. You know what I mean? And in a world that we're living in right now, to where everybody's out for self, sometimes you don't know how to receive people who are really looking out for your best interests. You always want to wonder, like, what is their angle? Well, I know something my grandfather used to say, growing up. He always said, my blessings come from what I do for others, not what for others do for me. And I find that to be so true because the more I give you guys, the more I share you guys, blessings like this come through, $86.39, that I'm not asking for it, but it's a blessing and I do appreciate it. And it makes me just, just more appreciative of just this whole garden thing and being introduced to it from back in 2020 and getting up to where we are right now and being able to share these things with you guys. And what we're going to be doing on the next video is we're going to be talking about making our fish hydrolysis. And I'm going to show you guys how to make, starting off with our rice water, which is going to be our culture. We'll inoculate it with our Hembit FPJ. If you haven't watched the Hembit FPJ video, you got to go back and watch it and try to make you some Hembit FPJ because that is going to be the inoculant that we're going to use into making our fish hydrolysis. The fish hydrolysis is far better than that stuff we can buy in the bottle, that 511. That is what I've been putting on my garden. I got comfrey right here. I got alfalfa right here. I got stinging nettle over on the other side. I got Mexican sunflower over on that side. I got peanuts right here. All of this fertilizes my garden. Now, I still do use blood meal and bone meal at times and my cottonseed meal. But again, like I was telling you guys in the last video, the peanuts I've been working on, and I've learned that the shells or the red skins on the peanuts are acidic. So I could take the peanut and create a 722 NPK fertilizer. So let me see if anybody in the chat knows what you could do with a 722 fertilizer. Uh-oh, we got another super chat down here, Tam. Y'all slipping.
Yes, because I'm waiting till you finish talking.
Anytime you got a super chat in the room, you cut me off.
No, I
'Cause,
can't do that. But I was going till you stop. But choose MBA,
yeah,
$10 super chat. Thank you so much.
yeah, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate it. But like I
Um,
said, what
mhm.
we're trying to do is close the loop. With prices, groceries going up, just everything around is just going up and spiraling out of control. We have no control over the things that are going on around. But what we can control, and we have to control it because you think about how much money we spend on fertilizers, how much money we spend on seeds. I have the majority of my garden this year, and the reason why you don't see the big plants all over the place is because I'm taking a lot of my volunteers and I'm letting my volunteers grow the garden. Those are going to be your strongest plants. The dark opal basil. We were talking about that in Miss Linda's live. The dark opal basil comes up on its own every year. I collect the African marigolds and the French marigold seeds, sprinkle them out in the fall, springtime, they come up. Mike's Chaotic Garden sent me some candy roaster seeds 3 years ago. I've been sharing those seeds for the last 3 years, regrowing those. Miss Linda sent me the mashed potato squash this year. Never grown the mashed potato squash, but I'm going to be growing that in my squash cage. The strawberries started those 2 years ago. They finally came in. That's our California giants. We got our banana plants. We're going to put the bananas in the ground. We're going to get some bananas this year. Georgia Zone 8A, we're going to grow bananas. I got the system already mapped out, just got to put it in motion. So, all of these things that we're doing, we are learning how to close the loop. And while we may not be able to grow enough groceries in our backyards to feed our family, we can become innovative and we can create systems that can feed our family. Like with my elephant garlic. My elephant garlic is my staple crop. I sell my elephant garlic every year. So a lot of you guys in here has purchased my elephant garlic. That started off with 36 cloves. What
Keith, you
is it?
got another. I don't mean to cut you off, but you got another super chat. Thank you, Hazel Eyes 405.
Thank you, Hazel Eyes. I really appreciate that. I really do appreciate that.
You
But
said I cut you off, so.
yes, yes, absolutely. Cut me off. Anytime you see a super chat come in there, you cut me off, you know.
And
And
someone is asking a question about your bush. You want some more questions about your blueberry bush, or you want to
go ahead.
wait?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Tua size healthier 613. She's asking, if I purchase a bush now in zone 7, do I just keep it in the same container till fall?
Look at see somebody been paying attention. She said the key word, keep it in the container until fall. That is the best time to plant your blueberry bushes. And why fall is the best time to plant your blueberry bushes? Because she's not fruiting, she's not flowering. She's going to go, depending on what area you're living in, what type of a bush you have. Like if it's a northern high bush, she's going to go dormant. That means all of those auxins and gibberellins are going to go down to the roots. That means it has an opportunity to focus on those roots. And what a lot of people make the mistake of doing, and I want y'all to really pay attention at this now, because I've seen so many people say, I took my blueberry bush inside for the winter. That could be the reason why you're not getting the berries that you're looking for. Blueberries go through a process called vernalization. That is the way it forms its flowers. In order for that blueberry bush to form the flowers, it has to go through those chill hours, depending on what area you're in. And that is the reason why you want to have specific bushes growing in specific regions, because if you don't have enough chill hours, then it does not, it cannot go through that vernalization process. That vernalization process is what triggers those those buds on there to flower, and of course, without flowers, there are no berries. So your bush has to go through that cold weather. Now, what you want to do is put it up against a south-facing wall or just any type of wall so the wind doesn't catch it. And if you're in areas like where Nikki is in Maryland, where you get a lot of snow, just put it up under a covered area to where the snow doesn't, just cover it up all the way. But that bush can handle temperatures down to negative 30 degrees. That bush is going to be okay. The problem is you may lose your berries depending on how the weather is, but the bush itself is going to be okay. And it has to go through vernalization in order for it to produce berries. So,
Okay, Keith. The first super chatter, the one you asked, you didn't know if it was a male or female. It's a male, and his name is Joe.
okay, Joe, we're going to have to remember
Quality.
that.
Yeah, QUALQUI is his handle.
Okay, so we're going to remember that, Joe, because we call each other by name, first names in here. I'm Keith. For anybody who did not know, my name is Keith. Growing out the box on all the platforms, but I'm Keith, and the voice that you're hearing in the background, that's I call him my business manager, my moderator,
You're a
my
debater.
my baby sister, my big sister, Sometimes my mama, because she say some things to me that make me feel like I need my mama again. But she
Oh
is
Lord.
she is my that's my ace in the hole, man. And I'm telling you, man, she growingoutthebox.com, she is the one that built that. So every time you go over and you shopping at growingoutthebox.com, Tam is the one to put that together. She put that whole thing together. I was trying to do too much and going to get this what was the Tam? The Shopify and all
Yes,
that.
Shopify, yes.
Yeah, the big booming site with all the plugins and all that. Baby sis say, hold up, bro. Let me show you how to do this thing. You're gonna have your store up next week, and I guarantee you, you won't miss a beat. She was right. She was absolutely right. So we knock heads. I mean, even on that case right there, because I was like, no, I want all the bells and whistles. I want all the plugins. And she was like, look, you gonna spend X amount of money doing that. Let me do what I do, and then if you don't like it after we run with it for a while, we could always upgrade. This is,
Sir.
yeah, this is like I said, growing out the box. This is her child. She built this thing, and I couldn't do this without her. And like I say, broke met her down at Madison Citrus Nursery when we were down there. This is my ace. My wife said that's y'all baby kids.
Yeah. We ride or die. And I absolutely love Broke. He is such a kind, fun person. So if you're in here, Broke, it was so nice meeting you.
Yeah, yeah. Broke is genuine. I got my guy David Cord with the crops in here too. I mess with David too. Um, yeah, David Cord with the crops out in Texas. He got that comfrey plant that I'm out there envious of. Boy, he got a beautiful comfrey plant that I seen over there. I want mine to look like that.
Yeah, someone is asking Panzer Polly. She's saying, are you doing lives on certain days and times? I adore you since discovering you last year. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, that is so sweet. But believe it or not, I've been trying to get my footing. So I started over doing my lives with Miss Linda, the New Orleans gardener. Excuse me. And if you guys are not following Miss Linda, the New Orleans gardener, please just go and check her out. Tuesdays and Sundays, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. She does her live. Just a just a plethora of information. That's where I started off. I went live with her a couple of times, and for a minute, matter of fact, I don't. I think I've only gone live with two different people. Broke. I think I did. I go live with Broke.
You went live at the Citrus Expo.
Okay, yeah. But Broke was the one I messed with. Broke too. Just so all y'all know, Broke Farmer is in the place too. I think he's still in it. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Broke is
in
still
here.
in it. Yeah, I mess with Broke too. And I'm just giving everybody they flowers, and it's okay to give a man flowers. I'm saying, verbally speaking, I give him all the flowers because Broke was the first one to encourage me to do the video thing, like without the what do you call it, faceless videos.
Hmm.
I was just doing the just talking over my videos, just doing the voiceovers. So Broke was like Miss Linda was doing her end of the year. I think it was 2021. What are you doing in the garden this year? Something like that. Miss Linda was doing the New Orleans gardener, and Broke say, "Hey man, you know, just turn that camera on and just start talking. It ain't got to be perfect. Just turn the camera on and started talking." That was my first time ever going on camera, like physically going on camera and talking on camera. And then Miss Linda and Broke, those were the two that really pushed me towards that. And here I am 3 years later, one point, it might be 1.4 million, neighbors. 1.4 million three years later. And it was the result of the community. This is one thing I really believe in: community. And this is why I share the way that I share. This is why I try to encourage. This is why I try to push you that extra mile, do things that probably you wouldn't have done before, because had Broke not gave me just that little bit of encouragement, I wouldn't have, gone live, and one day led to another day, the next day, and now I'm doing lives on my own. Now, one of the reasons why I wasn't doing lives because I wasn't as confident, and I'm not going to say that I'm arrogant, but I wasn't as confident as I am now, and that's because I study every day. And literally, I mean, I study every day. I study whatever it is that I'm growing every single day. There's not a day that goes by where I'm not learning something in the garden. That way I can bring it and share it with you guys. So it goes back to that whole thing that we're talking about, that symbiotic relationship where we sharing with each other. We're building each other up so we can all be stronger together. And Broke, I'm gonna say it again, Broke Farmer, Miss Linda the New Orleans gardener, Nikki came in on my first live that I tried to do by myself. And Nikki was one of the ones, her and Maureen, uh, the Diva in the Dirt, Carol, all of them came in and they would spoon feed me information. And then G Mama came in. Mike's Chaotic Garden is like he's just like the guru of the moderators. He and G Mama Groves, they are the all with all when it comes to moderating. So I'm giving everybody their flowers tonight because again, I'm really grateful for everything that you guys do for me. And I just hope that I can only have halfway, return those gestures. So daylight is getting here, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up out here. I really appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with me. Three zippers, we got them.
Yes, sir. At growingoutthebox.com. I'm going to
Okay,
put the website back out here.
so let's take a few more questions if you guys want to ask, and then we're gonna get up out of here.
Okay, can you, let's see here. There's a question. Katina, she's saying, can I replant my blueberries in a wood or oak planter to encourage growth for the next season in Dallas, Texas, 8-8?
How wide is that container? That would be my question. If you're talking about for a permanent home, I would do probably nothing less than 20 gallon, and that is it's going to restrict the roots. But if you're going to be growing in the container, I would imagine that you don't want a 6 foot bush anyway. So by growing it in that 20-gallon container, you can kind of contain the growth, the width, because all of my blueberries that I have in pots, they're all going in their permanent homes in 20-gallon containers. And I want to see just how they can progress over the next 2 years living in those 20-gallon containers. So I hope that answered your question.
Okay. And David Corey, great teacher. Thank you, David. You have some good
Yes.
moderators, Keith. Great.
Yeah, yeah, David Corey, that's my guy right there.
He said, I knew this man would be in this position.
Yeah, David Corey called it. Yeah, he called it out a couple of years ago, and that's why, again, it goes back to my whole point of how we uplift each other. You hear me shout David Corey out every time you hear me say something about fava beans. You can always hear me shout David Corey out. When you hear me talk about that Georgia candy roaster, you're gonna hear me shouting out Mike's Chaotic Garden. When you hear me talk about just whatever accolades that I go through and moving on to the next step, whoever helped me get to that point, that doesn't go forgotten. And I'm always going to be looking back and pulling you forward. Now, whether or not if we're going to get there at the same time, maybe not. It's not meant for everybody to go in the same place at the same time. But whatever I can do to extend my hand out to bring you forward, that's what I'm willing to do. And like what Tam is doing right now, I want to be doing guest moderators. And matter of fact, y'all put some hearts up in the room if y'all want to do something like guest moderators. For you guys who are trying to build your channels up and you want to come up and do what Tam is doing, just kind of moderate the room because Tam is busy and I have to kind of work on her schedule to get her to come up. But y'all throw some hearts up in the room if y'all want to do like the guest moderator, where we can bring somebody up every week. They basically read the chat, keep me on point, so to speak, with making sure that like super chats don't get missed, because sometimes when I'm talking, I'm in my own little zone to keep, my thoughts going. And then if I start reading the chat, then I lose my whole train of thought. That's one of my little, I guess you might say, my little bugs that I have in my whole system and the way my brain works. Once I get focused on something, I have to stay focused on it or I lose my train of thought. So that's why I like to have the moderator in the room to actually handle the chat. So they can do like, you see somebody's in the house right now, they're actually posting up the comments in the live. I want a team. I don't want this to be just me doing these lives. I want to build a team to where when we come in this thing, we're actually putting on a show. And when I say a show, I mean like Tam is doing. She's basically the co-host, the moderator in the room. She keeps the chat going. She makes sure that you guys stay engaged. All of these things that I want to be able to put together and just make it really about the community. This is never about me. It's always about the community.
Keith, do you want them to send you maybe something in email to inquiry at growing out the box
Um,
if they're interested, or are you gonna
yeah,
go back and
yeah,
read the comments?
yeah. I'll go back and read the comments. If you guys are interested in doing like the the moderator, the live moderator thing, you want to be able to part of that. Something like Food by Faith. I know she's trying to grow her channel. Um, I mean, it's just so many of you in here. Like Food by Faith, when she went to Germany, and we were trying to hook up when we were in Europe. And I'm gonna keep this short. I ain't gonna make this a whole long thing. But we were trying to hook up when we were in Europe. She was in Germany, and we were headed to France. And I think at that time there was some fires going on over there in Spain, and it kind of threw off our whole little itinerary that we had. So we ended up going in the opposite direction. So Germany was in one way, and then we ended up going towards the Pyrenees, and we just never hooked up. So Food by Faith is somebody that she sent me a whole box of seeds when she got ready to go overseas. Man, I so appreciate that. It's just people like that in this community, man, that just always in the giving spirit. And Food by Faith is one of those, and she's in the room right now. You guys go over and check her out. She's building an awesome garden back there with all of that Vigo stuff. She keeps using my discount code over at Vigo. And keep, yeah, and going over there. And then every time she'll do it, she'll chime in and be like, I've been to Vigo again. So
That's
I really
awesome.
appreciate that. But we gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man, because I
Well, Keith,
appreciate
can we
you.
ask a few more questions
Yes.
before we get out of here? Tammy Bow 370808. She's asking what type of bird netting for the pot growing blueberry bushes in Zone 9 in Houston, Texas, please.
It depends on the size of your bush. Uh, like I said, my one zippers are 6 feet tall. I don't know how big your bush is, but they're 6 feet tall. You can put some like PVC piping over, do like a hoop house type thing, similar to how I have with my little hoop thing that I have with my blueberries up under it, my smaller bushes. Create your little hoop, and then you can order something like that 10 by 50 sheet of netting. Just throw it over the top. So it don't have to be complicated. The only thing is when you get where your bushes are my size, where you're talking about 4 to 6 feet, which is maximum size, you want to make sure that you get all of your berries and the birds aren't walking away with it, because you saw the bushes that I didn't have covered up. And I didn't cover them up for the reason of showing you guys what will happen with those birds. These birds are not trying to share with you. They're going to eat all your berries, and you're going to be sitting around here listening to the next neighbor talking about feed the birds. And the birds, they just share with the birds. The birds are not trying to share with you. Let's just
You're
keep
supposed
this
to share with
100.
the birds, Keith.
Yeah, the birds are not trying to share with you. So Food by Faith, read that what Food by Faith is saying.
Okay, so I had another. Someone was asking. I'm sorry, I'm losing track.
She said, I wish it could have gotten together, but it was much
I wish
going
we
on.
could have got together, but it was so much going on.
Yeah, yeah, it
Someone had
was.
he had a bunch of okay. Mitch 93. He's asking, what is your liquid fertilizer routine for blueberries? Thanks for the educational videos and cross pollination charts. Um, yeah, I
Okay,
lost my place. Yeah,
what is my liquid fertilization?
your
Water,
liquid fertilization routine for blueberries.
water, yeah,
Oh, boy.
water. That's it. Because again, that mix itself, when you do that 50% peat moss, 25% mini pine bark nuggets, 25% compost, you're going to add that quarter cup of cotton seed. We do that twice a year. We do it late winter, early spring, right as the bush starts waking up. And then after they fruit, going into fall, late summer, going into fall, we feed them again. A quarter cup of that cottonseed meal. I do a 3-gallon mix up with a quarter cup of that cottonseed meal, and we move back that mulch, sprinkle that around the drip line of the bush, and then we put the pine bark nuggets back on the top of it. That's it. That's all your bush needs. If you are having to feed your bush to keep it perked up, then that means your soil is probably not correct. But if you're growing in this medium that I'm asking you guys to grow in, you're not going to have to feed your bush. Now, watering is something that you want to take into consideration. And this is something that I was actually going to show you guys today, but we screwed up the whole first part of the live. Ascorbic acid, that's vitamin C powder. And what that does is it breaks the bond of chlorine and chloramine. That's what you want to water your bush with, ascorbic acid. And keep this into mind now. Ascorbic acid is very acidic. So you have to have a pH meter. I'm going to tell you guys this again. You have to have a pH meter when you start talking about watering and doing these things that I'm asking you to do. And this is the reason why my bushes look the way that they do, because I am not just guessing at what it is that I'm doing to my blueberry bushes. I'm testing it before I put it on there, and I'm actually having a cycle of what is going on my blueberry bush, how they react, and then that's what I'm sharing with you guys. Ascorbic acid in a 5-gallon bucket of tap water, you put 1 pinch, and there is a such thing as a pinch. I got the spoons inside. Matter of fact, I'm going to have the spoons on growingoutthebox.com. 1 pinch of ascorbic acid in a 5-gallon bucket of water, of your tap water. It's going to lower the pH. It's going to remove the chlorine, and it's going to break that bond of chlorine and chloramine. And what that does is the ammonia and the chlorine, that is that chloramine, when it breaks apart, there is what feeds your blueberry plant. Your blueberry plant loves ammonia forms of nitrates, of ammonia forms of nitrogen, I'm sorry. When it breaks that bond of chlorine and ammonia, that ammonia becomes available to your plant. So when you put that ascorbic acid in your water, your tap water, that is how you're feeding your bush, along with the regiments that I just gave you with the mix that I'm talking about. Let's get another one in, Tam.
Okay, I was just wondering, did you want to end it here because there are a couple of more questions? You may want to go back.
Let's do two more
You want to
questions
do
and
two
then
more
we're out.
questions?
Yeah,
Okay,
let's
let's
do
see
two more
here.
questions.
Let's see. Uh, Great love. Liquid Tammy Bowl 3708. She said liquid whey. And I think that was after you answered her question about I don't know. As
Yeah.
soon as I read something, key, somebody comments and it shifts what I'm reading down. So
Okay.
it makes me lose my place. So sorry about that.
Okay. Would pine bark mulch work instead of mini pine bark nuggets? I'm seeing that flash up on the screen.
Okay.
Will pine bark mulch work instead of mini pine bark nuggets? No. That's as simple as put. And here's the reason why. And we talked about this in the last live. Pine bark mulch has too much, well, not enough surface area. Decomposition 101 is the smaller the surface area, the faster decomposition. When you put the large pine bark mulch in your garden, in your soil, the microbes are going to start focusing on breaking down those large chunks. When they're breaking down those large chunks, guess what they are not doing? They are not feeding your blueberry bush. That means they're going to be focused on that, and that is the classic case of robbing nitrogen from your soil. It's amazing how the chunks, when you do those nuggets, take it and run it over with your lawnmower. Take those chunks and run it over with your lawnmower. You want to have the nugget. And before I get off subject, I have a vendor that's coming online that we may be able to have the mini pine bark nuggets on growingoutthebox.com. I'm negotiating with them right now, so we'll be able to have someone to ship that mini pine bark nuggets all across the country. So that's something that I'm working on right now because I noticed that a lot of people are saying they can't find the mini pine bark nuggets. Fir bark is something else that you could use. Fir bark. Some people up in the north, the northwest, fir bark is something accessible up there. You can use fir bark in replace of the mini pine bark nugget, but it has to be 1 inch to a half inch. It has to be. If not, you're going to start robbing your soil from nitrogen. Lignin and cellulose, that's the difference. The lignin in the pine bark nuggets are going to break down slower, and the cottonseed meal offsets any nitrogen drawdown. I'm going to say it again. The cottonseed meal offsets any nitrogen throwdown. So if you're not using the cottonseed meal or baritone, you have to have a fertilizer in that mix to offset the nitrogen drawdown. That is the whole combination of how that system works. If you're doing one without the other, you're going to run into some problems. Food by Faith said we all need a pH meter. Absolutely correct. All right. So
Okay. So you want to wrap it up, Keith?
yes, yes, we're gonna wrap it up. What's going on, the analytic garden? I see she just popped in, and we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here because it's dark out here, and I didn't bring my lights out because we didn't plan on being out here this late. So
Marcy G says, I'm watching it getting darker and darker there. It's still light in Idaho, I guess. ID
yeah,
in Idaho.
okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I appreciate you guys for coming in, and I don't know if you wrote down the super chatters in here because I'd like to give them a shout out again. But next time we'll be a little more organized with the super chatters. But that's one of the things that I want to make sure that our moderators remember. Anytime we get super chats in the room, we want to make sure that we keep shouting out our super chatters the whole time because I really do appreciate that. And
So
then
I
at the
can tell
end
you
of
who
the
those
line,
are, Keith.
yeah, yeah, I want to be able to acknowledge them again before we leave out.
Yeah, it's just I know it was it's just a matter of scrolling. Give me a few seconds
Yeah.
and I'll find them. I know one of them was some pretty Hazel Eyes was one of them.
Hazel Eyes, I really
Yes.
appreciate you because this is what I want to do. Anytime you put a super chat up in here, we're going to make sure that you get recognized because I really do appreciate that. And I know money ain't the easiest thing to come by right now. So if you partner with it simply because you enjoying what it is that you're hearing here, I want to make sure that you're recognized. So that's how we're going to do it from here on out. So for my
Okay,
future
thank you.
moderators, yeah, for my future moderators, anytime that we're doing the lives and somebody puts a super chat up in there, we want to keep shouting them out throughout the whole live.
Okay, and Choose MBA was another super chatter, and he or she, I'm not sure, but they stated, how do you prevent or get rid of spider mites?
Spider mites. That's something I really don't have issues with. I tell you, the that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing our fulvic acid extract. When I show you guys how to make this fulvic acid extract, it's going to eliminate a lot of the insect pressure that you're going to have because what it's going to do is going to build the bricks up in your plants and it's going to have complex sugars And here's the thing. When your plant's able to take up this fulvic acid extract, it builds those complex sugars, and insects do not like complex sugars. That's what builds the bricks up in those leaves. And when they bite on those leaves, they're going to go somewhere else. They're going to look for the weaker plant with more water in it. So if you're feeding your plant all these nitrogen-based fertilizers, that is probably why you're having more insect pressure. Nitrogen builds water up in your plants, and that is what they call simple sugars. The simple sugars is what's attracted for the insects. The insects are attracted to simple sugars. So with that note, we're gonna get up out of here.
Okay, Keith, but before we get out, we got to close it out with the super chat from Joe. The
Okay.
first one is at QUALQI, and it was a $5 tip for the blueberryologist. And many thanks to you, Growing Out the Box, for sharing your knowledge with us.
All right. So that was our three super chatters. We really appreciate you guys. And I don't have a schedule, you know, I'm just kind of willy-nilly with this thing. What I do find is working out pretty well because it gets my West Coast people involved with it. Is coming in about 7 o'clock. So that's probably going to be my thing because the name of my live, and I don't have my lights out here tonight, but the name of the live is called Lights Out Live. And basically, what we're going to be doing, the format of what we're doing is we basically walk around the garden. We have our moderator basically controlling the chat while I'm kind of doing things in the garden. And then as it starts to get dark, we sit down and we talk about what it is that you saw in the garden. That is the format of Lights Out Live. That is the format that I want to put together. It requires a team to be able to do it. And this is why we're going to be having different people come up to see who's comfortable with it and how it works. And then we're going to create a format and maybe a day that we come in because I notice Mondays, I believe, there are not a lot of people in, or we may be able to come in maybe before Miss Linda on maybe a Tuesday or something. And then we can all go over to Miss Linda's chat after we finish live. But it's probably going to be in that 6 or 7 o'clock hour. That seems to work out pretty well for me.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Keith. We love you.
Oh, yeah. All right. And the analytic gardener gave her a shout out this week. So she did a, a post and tagged me in it. So I made sure that I go over there and check out those posts. I'm not sure if there's somebody else who did my little cup thing, my root training system. And they did such a good job on that root training system. I mean, the roots were on steroids, and she showed a comparison of what a regular cup was and what the root training system did. The roots were all going vertical, and as opposed to going winding around. But it was a very good example of what that root training system does. For you guys who think it's just a bigger cup, you don't even know what you're missing if you're not using that root training system. It is magic in that cup that happens. And when you transplant those plants out into your garden, you have very little to no transplant shock. You put them out there, and within an hour, they're standing up again. That is what that root training system is. And I forget the lady's name who did the video, but the plant was about 4 inches taller than the other plant. The roots were twice as thick, and all the roots in the root training cup were going straight vertical, that were going straight down. And the reason why they're going straight down is because they're going down to that water that's in the bottom of that reservoir. It's a root training system. So once again, like I said, I see people are coming back in. We done got back up to 92.
Yeah,
And we
right.
gonna get yeah, we gonna get up out of here because I don't have my lights out here, so it's definitely darker. So on that note, we're gonna sign off. And I appreciate you guys coming in. Until the next time, y'all be blessed.
All right. Thank you, bro.